name is Carlos Moreno. I am a 31-year-old Gemini. I'm from Tucson, Arizona, and I'm currently residing in Pasadena, California, also known as the Tongva land. My pronouns are he and they. I was a health educator, a volunteer, a participant, a client of many AIDS service organizations and different nonprofits. And so that's how I sort of began my journey of working in the HIV prevention and care field. I had a wonderful childhood, I'm not gonna lie. Just being a carefree kid, growing up with all of my cousins, super close. I'm actually first generation, so our family is really small and really, really tight-knit. I didn't ever really notice that I was different, right? I was just always being myself. It was everyone else that told me I was different. I did sort of start to feel like a little bit of an outsider, right? And especially within like Latinx families, us being first generation, I already felt a little bit of an outsider with me having like really horrible Spanish, and then just adding, coming into sort of my queer identity as another, factor for being just a little bit of an outsider. My real first kiss wasn't until I was in my late teen years, really. Falling for someone and just being innocent and naive, not having the proper sexual health education. I did meet someone, we had very intimate moments and they were really wonderful times of my life, but unfortunately they had consequences, and I feel like the consequences were due to society and the public health education system. I started to notice different things about my body. I had gotten really sick. I had a really high fever, like maybe, I don't know, like 103 or something like that. I couldn't get any better. I didn't know what was going on with me. I had a super high fever. I was having crazy, crazy night sweats. Like just waking up in just a pool of sweat, having to dry off. And then I started to get these really bad hives. And I'm like, what the hell are these hives? So I finally went to go to the clinic just because someone told me like, girl, you should go get that checked out. And I was like, okay, good idea. So I went to the clinic to get my second ever only HIV test. And it came back positive. It was something that I wasn't ever expecting. I was only 19 at the time. I had only had 2 sexual partners, and I was ready to celebrate another negative test, and it was literally the opposite. I graduated high school. I was like, now I get to be who I am. And then maybe a year of that until I received my diagnosis. And then I literally went straight back into the closet that I had just freshly come out of, because now I have all of these secrets again. When I told my dad, he says, does this mean that you're gay? And so I kind of had to come out to him twice at once, which was really difficult, We both shed some tears, and that's not something that I've ever really seen my dad do many times in my life, was cry. And we had some moments together, and I just assured him that everything was going to be okay and that I was fine. And he just told me that he loved me. 2009, at the age of 19, I was diagnosed with HIV. A Sunday matinee, my family came. This was a way of coming out to them again twice because I was performing with the gay men's chorus. And then I go up in there and then I tell my story. So, you know, they had to sit with that for 3 hours really through the show. And then afterward, the cast, you know, goes and greets the people in the lobby and greets their guests and all that stuff. I went and I found my family, and the first person I saw was my nana, and she was in tears, and she was already, you know, crying, and she leads me to the rest of my family, and everyone is crying. So 6 years pass, and it's like, y'all have known me for the past, well, my whole life, but for the past 6 years, you didn't even know this secret about me. But now you do, and it doesn't change anything at all. I feel like a new person. I feel like the weight is lifted off my shoulders. I feel like my chest isn't heavy anymore. I can breathe. I uploaded the video of me telling my story to my Facebook, and I closed the internet, and I posted and ghosted. Immediately, I just started to get phone calls and text messages from all of my friends and family who were just showing all of the love and support. And then, you know, logging back into Facebook after a couple of days, the post had blown up, and, you know, I had so many messages from people who were congratulating me and telling me that they were proud, but I also had people who were like, I'm living with HIV too. Now the tables were turned. It was my turn to be that voice that was really hard for me to find for other people. And when I got to LA, I was like, I'm 100% the person that I should be. Like, there's no secrets now. I'm not hiding about being gay. I'm not hiding about living with HIV. I'm just like 100% myself. I'm finally in the year 2015, my 100% self. And it was such a long journey to get there, but I finally made it through. I really surround myself with like-minded people, and that's made things so much easier. But then, you know, when you get outside of that sort of comfort zone of people, I get uncomfortable. Honestly, I would sort of love to be in a relationship with someone else who's living with HIV, only just because we would be able to relate about so many things. We would probably be passionate about similar things, and just have similar work, and just know what that's like, you know? So I would love to meet someone else who's living with HIV. Hey, Mom.
Hi, mijo. How are you?
I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing.
Doing all right.
Yeah.
You know what today is?
I do. I don't know if you see. Do you see here in the background?
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
I wanted to make sure that was
Yeah,
there.
I see it.
I was telling them a little bit about how sometimes I get emotional whenever I walk through like Placito Olvera, because it just reminds me so much of like home and family and stuff like that. And so
Choco loved it. I mean, I don't know how he found his way around LA, because back then there was no GPS, but he found this beautiful place, Placito Olvera, and he used to play there every weekend. One of the best memories that we have is like for the holidays, he would take the whole family. And I remember, you know, going to Kmart and getting a new outfit, and we would all get dressed up and we would all go and we would watch him perform. Also, I remember when he would come home late at night, whether it be, you know, 1 or 2 in the morning, he would wake us up and he would have like a dozen flautitas, and we would all just sit around and we would all eat flautas. That was a great memory that I have.
I love that. I love hearing that. But yeah, I just, you know, thank you all for always being there for me and for making everything so lively. You know, I was telling them about my childhood, and I don't really have any complaints or anything like that. You all have always been supportive and everything. So,
you know, Carlitos, we're always gonna stick by you no matter what. And it's not very many people that get to take something bad that happens to them and turns it around, you know, and makes it better for other people that are going through that same thing. I think what you've done is a wonderful thing. What you're doing and what you're going to continue to do is just amazing, mijo. I'm just really, really proud of you. And you're so far away from home and you're doing this on your own. I'm really proud of you, mijo. You know, blossomed into this wonderful man that I'm really proud of.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. I love you and I can't wait to see you.
I love you, mijo, and Checo would be proud.
We are here at the Wall Las Memorias in Lincoln Park in Lincoln Heights, and this is one of the only publicly funded AIDS dedication monuments, memorials in the country. So I'll show you a little bit about the Walls Monument. So the Wall Las Memorias project is a AIDS service organization, a nonprofit organization here in Los Angeles that specifically caters to the Latinx community in terms of HIV prevention, linkage to care, abuse prevention services, mental health services, and it's one of the first nonprofits that I worked at when I arrived here in Los Angeles. And so they introduced me to this beautiful space where they are able to honor all of the lives lost due to HIV and AIDS related complications here at this monument. So every year on December the 1st, they, for World AIDS Day, they have a beautiful, beautiful ceremony called Noche de las Memorias, and it's one of the most beautiful ceremonies that I've ever taken part of. The entire grounds are lit up with velas, and everything is in the shape of like an AIDS ribbon, and so it's just all very, very beautiful. So this is my favorite place to come to, just to honor all the lives that we lost to this horrible epidemic. It just makes me feel like I'm in the company of legends, of pioneers, of people who have paved the way before me, for me to be able to live my life and to reap the benefits of all of these people had to go through, because they were the folks who we learned with medication from. They were the ones that had to go through everything that we're going through now, but with less resources. And so I just like to come here and to honor all of them. When I come home in the evening, that's my real time for like my sanctuary. I really do consider my apartment my sanctuary, where I can be introspective about my days at work. I can be self-reflective about things that I want to change in my life, think about my own goals. Something that is really important to me is music. I have music all over my apartment, and it's all a part of my life. So I do find a lot of solace, I guess, when I'm able to come home, put on a record, zone everything out that's going on in my life, and literally just enjoy listening to music. It's just such a different experience. Music can transport you to so many different places. It takes me back home. Music has always been my savior, and as a performer myself, music finds its way in my life no matter where I go. If you're feeling like you're alone, just go and search. I'm sure that there's someone who has a TikTok, someone who has an Instagram page like I used to have. There's gonna be people out there who are sharing their stories. Like, you don't ever have to feel alone during this anymore. Get involved with your local AIDS service organization, like the people who really helped me. And I know that some people are afraid to go to those places, but they're there to help, and they're there to be there for you so that you don't feel this way. You're gonna meet other people who are going through the same thing as you. I don't think that anyone has to be alone anymore, because social media is connecting people in ways that it hasn't before.